So I'm going to save this, and the final thing I want to show you is with all of these files going on here, at some point you're going to want to publish this onto an actual web server, a hosted web server, so this can be seen from the internet and not just locally. So some of these files are needed, some are not. I just want to show you which ones you need to copy over the web server and which ones you wouldn't have to, because you don't necessarily want to copy everything if you don't need. So very quickly, I'm just going to create a new folder, and I'm going to call it web server. And this is going to represent the place on the server where you'd FTP in and have a folder where you're actually putting your application online. Okay, when you're at that point, you're ready to actually put it into a live online space through an FTP web server. Then I'll start at the top. We do want this components folder. These are runtime JavaScript libraries that are necessary to run some of the form components. We definitely want to include this email PHP file. This is what the form example that will actually email out your form results to you, as long as you go inside the file and put your own email address in there instead of the placeholder. That's necessary. That PHP file will not even function locally online. That will need to be on a server for it to work properly and send out the email. We do want to include the entire images folder. These are all images that are linked to from your HTML file. We can skip the FLA. We do not need the editor file that you'd open and animate on the web. We don't need that at all. And we also wouldn't need a recover file. I just hit save, so it made my recover go away. But we also wouldn't need the recover file either, so I can skip that. Definitely want the HTML and the JavaScript file. This is what you open in the browser, and this is holding a lot of the information. Definitely want the sounds folder. That's going to hold any audio clips that are going to be linked to the HTML file in the framework. We can skip the source. That right now is just the video and the poster. It could also be your preloader. It could be other sounds. Anything in that source folder is not explicitly being linked to. All that's being copied into the images or into the video. So we can leave the source folder off the server. We can also leave the template HTML off. That's just what generates our HTML. We don't need to bring that. We do want the videos folder because any videos, it's going to actually copy from your source into that. So these are really the files that are necessary. I'm going to go ahead and copy these with Command-C, go into my web server folder, and paste them. And now I have the files that I would need to put on the web server. One thing that would probably make sense is to change the name of the HTML file at this point from whatever the name of the application is to index.html. What that does when you put this on a web server is when you go to, so let's say we put this on kendallweblab.com/HTML5 framework. Well, inside of that folder, kendallweblab.com/HTML5 framework, we don't want to also have to put /HTML5 framework / that whole file name.html. If you name it index.html, then the browser just knows that it will automatically open any file named index for that folder. So typically when you upload something to a web folder, the HTML file that you want to open right away, when you go to that folder in the browser, you name index and it will automatically open. So that's it. Hopefully that sheds a little light on some of the publishing process for the HTML5 framework.